know that William a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. And so I was like, oh, they don't know you. So this
Actually,
is a space here.
this is a really good opportunity for Anthony to speak to something. Like, is it a lot or is it not a lot? He was there for it. So
yeah.
Anthony, you good?
Anthony, do you need a second?
Yeah, my bad. My phone went off a little bit. Can you repeat yourself?
What was the last thing you heard?
Y'all were laughing, but I didn't hear the question.
Oh, I was just asking if you were good, but also we were asking if you think William's cursing is a lie.
No, I mean, I think that's Williams is showing you who he is. I believe in showing, showcasing yourself who you really are, not trying to sugarcoat anything. And William does a really good job of that. So I don't think it's a lot. I think it's cool.
Okay, cool. So if you could speak about, like, tell Antonio, Mel, and Charlie, like, what you do. You can talk about your full-time job, but also talking about your business, how your business you've been to just the advice that you have for them.
I got you. Okay. So hey everyone, I don't got my camera on, but hey everyone, my name is Anthony McCrae. I currently work for Penske Truck Leasing as an operations management trainee, but my ultimate goal is to become a full-time photographer in the next maybe year or so. I've been doing photography for 2.5 years now, and most previously, I've been doing a lot of reflecting after talking to Mr. William about my growth overall, from a creative standpoint and a business standpoint. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot of really good growth, and especially as for financials, as far as that goes. I think the only advice I could give you or everyone in this chat room is that most days is going to be hard, and most days it might be easy. But I think as long as you stick to it and always believe in yourself that you're going to get to where you got to go, it's going to work out. Because nothing is given to us for free or handed to us like that. So if you just work hard at it and believe in yourself, because that's the biggest thing, just believing in yourself every day and being easy on yourself. That's my biggest problem still to this day, is being hard on myself every day, and I don't got to be like that. So I want to tell everyone, don't make the same mistake I made. Be hard on myself. Well, being hard on yourself, just have fun with it. Have fun with it, and just have fun with it and be yourself. There you go.
Hey, Anthony, can you tell them about the impact that the program has had on your business, if at all?
Yeah. So I'm an artist first and foremost. So everything I think about is more from an artistic standpoint, not a business standpoint. And that was kind of not the best method to do until I came across Fosterpreneur from Erica, and listening to William, from William's teachings, what he have told me, and some other people, not showed me, he taught me. It definitely has impacted me a lot, because now I don't think from the artist standpoint no more. I'm more thinking from how a business runs, because my time is valuable, and I could be an artist all day of the week, but now it's really separating the art from the business. And now, since doing that, I've gone up I can't remember the exact number, but
I do. I remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember. His bookings increased quarter over quarter. So you take first quarter 2021 and first quarter 2022, his bookings have increased 1,200%.
Yep.
1,200%. When you look at his return on investment of his marketing dollars, those firms that are out there selling ads and trying to get big companies and all these contracts, those firms, the ones that do digital advertising, those get a return on marketing investment of about 5 to 12 to 1. So it's for every $5 you may, for every $1 you may get a $5 return, or for every $1 you may get a $12 return, somewhere between there. This dude got 100 to 1 return. So for every dollar he put in his marketing, he got $100 back. And again, that's not because of Fosterpreneur. I like to believe we contributed to it, but this is what your grind does when you can focus your efforts and activities. It's not just you doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. You focus all of that hustle, and now you start seeing the results of that work. So I just, and by the way, I've been talking about you on the show recently, telling people I need some stuff from the Eye and Ant so people can start hiring you. Get on my fucking nerves, because I mentioned that before, but that's okay. Never mind. We'll talk about that later offline. It's okay. I apologize. That's not appropriate for right now. Go ahead.
But yeah, appreciate you, Mr. William. But yes, that is true. Now, first, I didn't see it like that. I was like, I'm not where I want to be, which is like, there's a very, not unrealistic goal, but I set the ladder very high. But like I said, like, there's hard work, everyone can achieve anything. And I still have a lot more, work to go, a lot more work to do. But I'm definitely happy with, where I'm at.
I also want to add that Anthony was most recently featured in Voyager Atlanta for his work. So you guys don't know, but Anthony is based in Baltimore, where William and I are based. So the fact that Voyager Atlanta has been like, oh, we see you working and we want to write a whole story about your creative process and what you've been able to do business-wise. So Anthony, I think one thing you should do is drop your social media handles in the chat so they can see. And I'm going to volunteer you that to make yourself accessible, like if they have questions throughout the process. And I know you'd be open to it anyway, but right?
Yeah, that's fine. If anyone has any questions, I'm definitely willing to answer anything, because I definitely come from a place also before, while starting, guys. I asked a lot of people questions, and a lot of people ignored me. So I told myself I'm based on business off of helping others.
He's a man of the people.
Man of the people.
Yeah, and one of the things that I do appreciate about Anthony is that he's not bullshit. You know what I mean? There's people who come to the table and they say all the stuff so that you can get a deal or that But like I've been able over like 2 years now, been able to watch him put in the work and get the returns. And again, has not been easy. And that's the other part. Oh, well, you know what? I'll talk more about that in my time. I get excited when we talk about people's successes, because these are some bad motherfuckers, y'all. For real. I figure I'd just start with the cursing now, just the level set expectations, and we keep it pushing.
Well, before we go back to you, William, Anthony, I just wanted to, before I hand the mic off, was there anything else you wanted to share or anything else that's top of mind for you?
What was the last part you said? Anything else I want to share, and what else?
Is there anything else top of mind for you?
Top of mind. Not at the current moment. No, I don't have anything else I think I would want to share.
Okay. Well, don't forget to drop your handles in the chat and just ways that they can connect with you. And I appreciate you being here. You can stay on if you want, or I know you are a busy man, so we understand.
I actually do have one last thing. I'm gonna stay on the call though. I don't think I told anyone really. I'm working on a really big project, a photo book. So I'm releasing like an exclusive body of work. It's gonna be by next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be exclusive release. I'm basically gonna be selling the book, and I'm not gonna ever post the work probably ever on social media, because it's gonna be exclusive. So yeah, I am working on that, and yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So anything you guys can do to help, or recommend me to anyone that can help with the publishing of the book, that'd be amazing.
Make sure you circle back and talk to Ashley Tate. She's done 9 books. It has some experience in different aspects of publishing, and while she's not doing, hers aren't heavy on photos and things like that, at least you can learn from some of the things that she has been able to learn and really put you on game.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Ashley. I have her number, so I'm gonna reach out to her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so am I good to go?
Yeah, you're good to go.
So I wander around a lot when I talk, because I'm an old man and I can say old man things, but it always ties together. One of the big things that I want to lead off with before I even introduce myself is that I want you all to make sure that you understand that you all are also in this together. One of the biggest resources that you can ever have is your social support network. And you'll see that through some of especially the first mindset set of videos and stuff for mindset. Your mindset, as Anthony mentioned, is very important, your belief in self. Now, the other part too is that I'm not going to have you out here believing in yourself when you shouldn't. Real talk. No one should ever be humiliated, but you should be humble. And humble is having a level set expectations, a very real expectations of who you are and what you're capable of. So for example, as an example of me being humble, I am one of the smartest people that most people will ever meet. That is me being humble, because that is absolutely true. I got data and everything else on it. But I also recognize that there are things like I wouldn't say that, oh, I'm the sexiest man. Like, no, sir, no, sir, no way. Because that's not even humble. That's just dumb. Like, that don't even make no sense. But that's, for us, one of the big things is so that you all level set your expectations. So if you are great at something, absolutely, we're going to celebrate the shit out of it. If you suck at something, absolutely, I'm going to tell you you suck at it. And we're going to figure out if the sucking is big enough to get in the way of your business, or if the sucking is something that we can overcome. Let me tell you a little bit about me, because I realize just starting off with I'm brilliant is probably not where most people start off, but it's true. I am a graduate of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and the University of Baltimore. I have degrees, bachelor degree in political science, a master's in business administration, and a degree in law. I was licensed to practice law in Maryland back in 2002. Yeah, 2002. There you go. All them wild numbers. So I was licensed to practice law back then. And I am in love with business. I love all things business. Primarily, I got into business because my dad was an entrepreneur. He wasn't really good at it though. He struggled. He was a hard worker, like an incredibly hard worker. But there were things about business that he didn't know and didn't understand. So our financial outcomes didn't look like the effort that he put in. And so I've always been, about that problem solving life. So I figured out, well, what are the problems with business? What are people not telling? And I realized that part of the big issue was that all the stuff that I ever learned about business was learned from the perspective of an employee. And so I'm talking about, my perspective on things and talking about, oh, they should be able to do this, not realizing the issue about sitting in the chair and making these types of decisions. It's not as easy as one would think. And that became kind of my goal in working with people in business, to help them make better decisions and understand how to make the decisions. And so one of the things that Erica has been very kind and polite about is that my social skills are fairly trash, unless I'm pretending. I am very blunt and very straightforward, because especially for me, I come from what would be classified as a disinvested community when I grew up. And I have found that people, in trying to make me feel good, have kept me from being good. They have not told me the truth in such stark areas where I can understand. It's like, oh no, you could have done that better. You could have done that better is vastly different than, oh shit, you fucked up. Those are not even on the same levels of things. It's like, oh, you could have done better. Oh, okay, it was good enough. I'll just tweak it next time. Like, no, don't do that shit ever again. And I know me, I needed to hear somebody, because if you say, oh, it doesn't sound like it's that big a deal. Oh, da, da, da. And what I realized is that for a lot of the people or the situations I was in, they were big deals. It's just people thought by saying, just saying something, I would just figure it out and make adjustments. No, I need to understand. And that's what I feel my role is, to make sure that you all have stark information. You will not be able to go back and say, well, I misunderstood what he said. Nope. Like I was confused about whether he liked it or not. Literally, I don't know anyone who says that, because I'm very clear about it. The other thing is, I'm also very clear that you all should have no idea what the fuck you are doing. You all should, most questions I give you, you all should not have the right answer. And we talk about that in the mindset thing. There is no real right answer. All this shit is guessing. And part of the experience of this is making the transition from thinking like an employee to thinking like an entrepreneur. They're not even the same ways of thinking. You don't even identify things the same way anymore. It's like the entire world looks different. And part of the goal is to help you all understand that. The other thing that's important about what we do here is, and I'll speak for myself, I think the way that most people get taught entrepreneurship and about business is bullshit. I think that it is about selling books, selling materials, and all of these types of things, as opposed to trying to really help people be better at doing the business, making decisions. Everybody wants you to hire them so they could tell you what to do, as opposed to working with you to figuring out how you decide what to do. Because if I just tell you, okay, I write your business plan, give it to you, that's great. You might even be able to get it funded. But then what happens when the world changes? Because it will. What happens when you lose an employee or you get an opportunity for an employee? You don't know how necessarily to make those decisions because you just went off of somebody else's roadmap. And so what we do is that we work back through, and we don't really talk about marketing and sales and those types of things. We talk about awareness, because that's what marketing really is there are people out there who have no idea that your business exists, and you make them aware of it. What do you have to do? What decisions do you have to make? What kind of information do you need? How do you walk through those things? And taking a very real look when we start talking about target customers, and we'll spend a little bit of time on target customers, because that is one of the places that you will probably need the most significant changes in the way you think. Because a lot of times we come to the table where we think of customers as just an extension of us. But that's not really true. I joke and I tell people that if I wanted to get married again, I wouldn't be able to find my ideal woman because she only exists in my head. For example, my ideal woman is always 5'3". No matter whether she has on heels, tennis shoes, or barefoot, she's always 5'3", because in case somebody takes a picture, that's the exact right height I need you to be, so I can put my arm right here and we look cute together. 5'4", at 5'4", I got an angle. See that? That's not cool. And if it takes a while to take the picture, and I'm older. This is a muscle place. This requires ibuprofen. No, thank you. So see, right here, she's good. But guess what? I've yet to meet a woman with retractable knees. So yeah, they come in one height, and you just have to adjust to that. So, oh yeah, no, I'm short. Yeah, 5. Well, yeah, no, I'm short. No. Okay, so when my son was maybe a year old, we went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, he's in the 95th percentile for weight and height. And he looked at my ex-wife and I, he was like, I wonder where you got the height part from. It's like, oh, you bastard, you dirty bitch. Okay, all right. Okay, sir, you suck. You suck, seriously. But where was I? Oh, well, I don't remember where I was, so it's whatever. That'll happen a lot of times too, because I do a lot of train of thought. One of the big things that I need you also to know, I mentioned that I don't expect you all to actually know anything. Has anybody ever heard people say that there's no such thing as a stupid question? Anybody? Yeah, they're lying. They're absolutely lying. They're absolutely lying. There are such things as stupid questions, and what they won't tell you in many cases that people will hear the stupid questions and go, oh, okay, and explain it to you, but they will talk about you someplace else, or they will use that as part of their decision making. There are stupid questions, and this is the place that you come to get them answered. This is where you bring the stupid questions. I will never tell you that your question is not stupid. On top of not telling you that, if it's a stupid question, I will be like, yo, that's a stupid question. Don't ever ask anybody else outside of this organization that question again. And tell your friends not to ask people. But because I've been on the other side of these tables where people say a misstatement or something like that, or they get asked the question and don't seem to know the vocabulary, what have you. And then I don't know if we're going to be doing business with her. She might not be appropriate. She might not know what she's doing, especially when many of us are coming to the table with identity or demographic strikes against us as we try to do business. Many of us, we come to the table because of gender, race, orientation, or whatever. There are already people trying to figure out how we aren't going to be successful. And so making sure that, we try to make sure that this is a place where you can ask your stupid questions and get them answered, and it be okay, because we don't care. We assume, real talk, we assume that you're stupid when it comes to business, not like in general, like life, that'd be disrespectful, but like in business, like why would you know any of this? And if you do, you're on a fast track, that's good. And so we work with you to understand it all and how it works. That's a intro about me, I think, and about my role and how I see the program. Anybody got any questions? Okay, cool in the gang. What I'd like to do, oh, go ahead, Melanie.
So this may sound like a stupid question, but in not following somebody's blueprint, I'm assuming that there's going to be a critical thinking component to this.
Yes. The entire program is designed to really help you develop the executive decision-making skills so that you can take all of the information that you come in contact with, establish a set of values and a rubric for yourself so that you can figure out what to do with that information and use those values to make the decisions. And that is the critical part. It is not just getting all the information, because you can get all the, I mean, Google is your friend. It is about what do you do and how do you navigate through this the information so that it fits you. Because the reality is, like, I'm a workaholic. Well, I used to be before the psychotic break. I used to be a workaholic. Like, I would, if I was putting in less than literally 70 hours a week, I was sick. I loved working. I loved it so much. And part of it was part of like this mental health. I need to please, I need to be out here. I need to do all this stuff so I can feel good about myself. So, oh, look at me, look at me. And so if I was writing your business plan back then, you would be working 60 because you're in charge. You got to work more. I would have written your business plan like that. I couldn't write that business plan for the man that I am today, because I'm no longer that dude. I appreciate a good ass nap in the middle of the day. Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity that I don't have to be places so much that I can't spend time with my mom, especially as she's getting older. Like, because my values have changed. Because before it'd have been like, well, that's what they have Mother's Day for in the weekend. Like, I'll have a meeting blocked off and I can go and see you for a couple of hours. Like, that was the life, and I was comfortable with it. And so as you start, but as my life changed and my values changed, my decisions had to change. My decisions changed and my resources changed. And then my outcomes changed. And so it is, and I appreciate that question. This is an opportunity for you all to develop or hone your executive decision-making skills. And that's not executive from like, in charge of stuff, but how you make decisions that have long-lasting impacts and are about your future. Does that answer your question, Melanie? Nope, didn't hear you. Sorry.
I know Melanie's internet's been really spotty.
Oh, right. Cool. So if there's another question, you could drop it in the chat. All right. Is there anybody else have any questions or anything? Okay. Hey boss, how do you want to do their introductions?
So what we'll do is I'm gonna actually go ahead and start kind of how it looks like on my screen. So Anthony, I'm saying Anthony, I'm so sorry. I meant to say Antonio.
But Antonio, know that's gonna happen for a little bit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's gonna happen.
Antonio, if you want to tell us like what brought you here, I'm assuming that you're still based in South Florida, and just anything that you feel like is relevant that you want us to know about you.
Well, it's nice to meet you guys. I am very happy to be here. I'm coming into it with a very open mind because I did not know what to expect, but I do think that it came at the right time because I just started my business a couple of months ago, around March or so. And so just some demographics. I'm from Nicaragua. I came to the US when I was 4 years old, and I grew up in Miami ever since. And the reason I ended up in foster care was because my mom was deported. So like immigration and learning English and reading and policy and all of that kind of all just came together. And I found my mission was to kind of like, sharing like literature and sharing books and sharing knowledge. And that's kind of the reason why, I started a bookstore, an online bookstore right now. And obviously that comes with a lot of its challenges, but I'm very excited for it. I'm passionate about it. And my end goal with the bookstore is to actually have like a store, like cafe, with where we would sell like, like international like drinks, not like coffee. We could have coffee, I guess, but I'm talking about like mamey from Paraguay or something from Colombia. Something everybody has like their drinks, something from Haiti, whatever, and bring that in and offer that. And so that's kind of my goal. And we'll see how it goes. And I'm in school right now. Like I got my bachelor's last year. I'm working on a master's. I work as a paralegal in the daytime. And so I'm like juggling it a lot, but I'm willing to put in the time, for my business.
So one of the things with your business and business model, having we'll talk about this as we talk about kind of the details, but one of the things I'm really thinking about your model is getting into the wholesaling business so that you don't have to have the retail spot, so that you can start and sell the different drinks to other retailers. And as they, like Amazon, it's so funny, Amazon right now is talking about how it's coming up, it's going to innovate its business model and create like a real life place that you can go and shop some of the Amazon products. I'm like a mall. Are you about to reinvent the mall? The same way that Uber was about to reinvent the bus line, because they were like, we're going to come up with this new model where people come at one point and then they all get in the car. Then I was like, that's a bus line. And so you have the opportunity to sell these drinks in retail until it gets to the point where now the retail money is giving you the resources to build your own brick and mortar. Oh, that's another thing that I do often. I will interrupt you to say the things that I'm thinking because I forget shit real quickly. All right, so sorry, boss, go ahead.
Clearly, it is not just for you all to have this video. It's recorded.
You ain't even had to put that all the way out there though. That's that. Okay, I see what we're doing now.
I mean, we've been working together for a while, so you
act like these are new people though, but it's whatever. They'll learn soon enough.
They're gonna learn today. Antonio, thank you so much for sharing that. And just being open about your own personal story and how you have your online bookstore. I'm excited to learn more about you. So I'm so glad you're here. All right, well, I'm gonna now turn it over to Charlie. Charlie, I'm so glad that you're here. I feel like I already know you because just to give you guys context, Charlie and I've had a few conversations up to this point. So Charlie, I would love for you to just share hey, now I get to see you in person. Now you're real. Oh, you got off camera for me? Oh my gosh. But Charlie, if you could just share like what you feel comfortable with, like what brought you here, what you're looking to do, how we can support you. And I'm gonna leave it there.
Sorry, I'm in the closet and I was like doing my makeup. This is like stuff for your foundation. But yeah, my name's Charlie. I used to be in Casa, Valentina. And I just have an entrepreneur mindset. I come from a line of hustlers. Like we get out, do yard sales, we do what we can to like make ends meet. So I always wanted to be like a star from a kid. I started in the music industry. I do rap music. I'm a songwriter. So that was my initial thing coming into Casa V. But like when it comes to being an artist, like I noticed like a lot of things I couldn't afford, I had to do for myself, and makeup was being one of them. And I kind of fell in love with it, and I'm like, I can run with this faster than I can run with music right now. So my thing was to become a makeup artist and build my brand, like, build my own brand and build my own company with that. So I think, this program is like a good fit for me. I'm not sure what I was supposed to say my age or something. I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to say.
I'm sorry, I need to jump in real quick. Charlie, remind me that as we go along, I need to partner you with a Kiki Thunder. She actually, her real name is Takia Ross. She is a really good friend and partner of the program. She actually started her business maybe 7 years ago. And she left her job because she was doing makeup. She's talented, but she was really good at business. And she opened up the area's first mobile makeup studio. She took a MTA, a little one of those little buses, and converted into, excuse me, a full makeup studio. And she has moved into creating her own product lines by choosing pigments and stuff like that, having a ship products and development. And she's amazing at brand management.
I'm looking forward to meeting with her. Yes.
So yeah, make sure. And by the way, if I swear to God, if I tell you to remember something, I literally will forget it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I will. Erica has been sitting in meetings waiting for me. It's like it wasn't on the calendar, so I don't have to go. Like I don't remember stuff. Like that's why I write stuff down. I got more notebooks in a little bit. So, but remind me to hook you up with her, because like one of the big things that we can help you with is finding somebody who can help you figure out, again, how do you make these decisions? Like, because
I'm really struggling.
Right. And if nothing else, it's not like she could say, do what I did, because you're in a whole different area, blah, blah, blah. But it gives you some ideas and some things to think about, so that as you are making decisions, you can be like, well, when I talked to Kiki, she said she did this for this reason, but I may do it for this reason and see how it works out, as opposed to just eeny, meeny, miny, I'm gonna do that. Don't do that. I mean, sometimes you have to do that, but let's try to reduce that as much as possible. I'd be damned. All right, sorry, go ahead. What did she need to say, Erica? My bad.
Thank you for that, though. That was helpful.
No problem.
That was perfect. You don't have to say how old you are unless you want to. That's not a requirement.
No, I was like, I don't know. I kind of didn't like, we're just introducing ourselves and what we wanna, why we in the program for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Just giving everybody an opportunity to get to know each other and us to get to know you, because we're gonna be here for the next whole bunch of weeks. So yeah, it's important that
yes, I'm also creative. I love music. I love makeup. I love photography. I noticed the speaker earlier. It's like, yes, do you need a makeup artist? So yeah, this is a good set of people, and I'm excited to work with you guys.
Oh, that's actually also really good. Yeah, make sure that you hook up with Anthony, because not only because I mean, Anthony does do stuff up and down 95 or whatever, but if nothing else, he can also help you figure out like how you should approach a photographer. Like that's one of the things that we're going to talk about when we go into the target market. Like the whole idea, let me put together a customer profile, is for most people some bullshit, because how the hell you know how to put together a customer profile? Who taught you that? How the fuck you know how to do that? Stop playing. Don't be disrespectful. But what you do know is people. And so rather than putting together a customer profile, this document that's not real and that you're trying to apply to real life, let's talk about the real people and figure out what you need to do to engage them. Talking to Anthony as a photographer, as a potential, as somebody who may be and may represent somebody in your market, he could tell you what he's looking for, because you may think he's looking for price when he's like, no, I need to know that you're gonna be there. I'll pay however much if I know you're gonna be there. Then you now know you need to lead with your reliability, as opposed to trying to lead with your prices. So that kind of conversation and stuff. Make sure you get Anthony's number too. Talk to him. He's a good guy, good dude.
Okay.
All right.
And then last but certainly not least, Mel, if you're able to, I know that you had some few Wi-Fi issues, so it's okay if you can't. If you could just introduce yourself, just say like what brought you here, what you're looking to do, all of those things.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1. Okay, great. Hi guys, my name is Valentina, but everybody calls me Mel. I can't even say I'm an aspiring creative director, because I'm kind of doing the work now. So I guess I can say that I'm a creative director now. I kind of work I want to get to a point where I'm comfortable in working in all mediums, whether if it be music, photography, shoot, even interior design, if I wanted to, actually, I've been wanting to dabble in creative in interior design. What am I talking about? But I'm very interested in establishing my personal branding as a creative director, because it's kind of hard to kind of market myself in terms, like, in the sense of, because I'm such a multifaceted being. It's like, one, who the heck is my target audience? Two, who do I like? How do I promote myself to the point where I do get clients? And just three, like, everything else, because I'm very, very clueless. And I like walks, long walks on the beach, pina coladas because I'm old enough to drink now. And I'm a Cancer. My birthday is next month. And
What day is your birthday?
July 17th. Fun fact, it's on the iOS calendar emoji.
Ah, okay. I don't do iOS. No, thank you. I'm a Cancer too. That's why I was wondering.
Okay. Whoop whoop. Cancerians, crustaceans.
Yeah, it is. So Mel, I think we'll be able to work with you a lot in helping you gain some direction and some focus. I also have the issue about being multifaceted, and the way that I've learned to address that is that everybody don't need to see all my facets all at the same time. You got to earn some of my facets, baby. Okay, just see all my facets. Don't just let my facets just hang all out for everybody. There's certain facets that only certain people get to see, because those are private facets, and I'm facet sensitive, so that's a thing. But that's why it's important to learn who your target market is. So for example, I may long walks on the beach maybe cool. I mean, I guess I don't like to sweat a lot, and I live in Maryland, so that's not something, in Baltimore particularly, it's not something I'm really experienced. I've done it on vacation. But if I know, if some, like, let's say somebody is trying to get to know you, or whether it's business, personal, whatever, and they hear you like long walks on the beach, while that may not be their favorite thing, they know now they need to talk about it. It's like, that might not be the thing that I love, but if I'm trying to establish a relationship or establish like a commonality so that we could do business together. So like, oh, I remember the last time I was in Florida, I was walking along the beach. It was a little nippy. Well, at least for me, it was a little nippy. It was in the 50s, but they were ready to open up the emergency shelters. Like that is a conversation piece. And I know it gets your attention because I've heard that you like walking on the beach. So any beach story I have, I know I should probably try it, or find out more about you and the beaches that you've gone to. But if I don't know that about you, I'm coming in like, yo, let me try to help you get your business straight. Let me talk to you about business, because that's what I want. And eventually we can get there. But if we start through your beach, then when we get there, you're a more willing participant than you are. Why is this dude trying to sell me? What are you trying to give me? It's like, oh no, that's the beach dude. Yeah. He was in the beach when it was cold. That's crazy. We could tell he not from Florida. We don't nobody do that here. But even then, it becomes a basis for the conversation. So we can really work with you on that, figuring out how to take the creative director piece and really figure out what you need to be selling to a particular target market. So one of the things, what we offer is amazing, just off the break. Like literally, our program is phenomenal. We spend a lot of time talking about the challenges in the program, because we found that for many people, those are the things that take them out. Those are the things that make it a lot more difficult to get through. And that's why we talk a lot about your mind is going to be different. The more you try to hang on to the stuff that you know about business and what you think your business should be, the more difficult it's going to be to make the changes. Now, again, I'm not telling you just throw everything you ever thought and be like, I'll just do whatever you say. Absolutely not. But what it is that you make sure that you are questioning the things that you know, because you're in a new space. This is brand new information. This is a brand new way of thinking that you have not experienced before. And so again, especially when we get to the target customer, it is going to be very disorienting. And let me give you some heads up. That part of how we do target customer will be you actually talking to a real ass person, like a whole human being in real life, like a real one. because a lot of times, again, I make up in my head like, oh yeah, 5'3", and then when we get married, I'm gonna be able to hold my arm like this, and then when we go out and play basketball, I'm able to hold my arm. Like, no, sir, she has to grow. Like, shoes change things. But in my head, I don't even think about that. And the fucked up part is that most of the time, these things that we mess up on, or these that I think my woman's always gonna be 5'3", those are things, if anybody had just said, dude, that doesn't even make sense, you're like, oh damn, that doesn't make sense. Oh, wow. But until somebody challenges you on it, you never really think about it, because that's not your experience. You caught into what you want. You're caught into how you want to feel, the business that you want to build, and its end goal and what it's going to look like. That is not where you start. Where you start is most of the time in the mud. And that's okay. Who was it? Was it Charlie that said that she comes from a family of hustlers? Was that you, Charlie?
Yeah, that was me.
So that is a really great place to start. But one of the things that you get to do is to choose whether you want to stay a hustler or whether you want to build an enterprise. The challenge with being a hustler is that you always have to hustle. Hustling is having the hustle skill is a great entrepreneurial skill to have, because there are times where you're in survival mode. It's like, well, I just got to get this in because there's a bill due, and if I don't pay the bill, the business ain't gonna be no more. And so having that hustle skill is actually very important. However, if the only skill you have is hustling, that means you never get to sleep. There's never a vacation for you, because it's always about the hustle. So that's what hustle is, kind of like that turbo boost in Fast and the Furious, where they press that little NOS button and it goes real fast. Because that happens. Y'all do drag races and stuff like that in Miami, because I've been to Miami twice, and most of the stuff I know comes from movies. So I'm gonna stereotype you all, since all of you all are from in that area. So like when you press that button, and that's good for a short term, but you can't just drive down the highway holding that button. That button is the hustle. And again, gotta have it, because sometimes you in that spot where you gotta boom, get out there. But if that's all you have, you will burn out your engine very fucking quickly. And so one of the things that the way we do is that we take these classes and these structures and these tools, and it's designed to build a business system. And so having a hustle is wonderful, and having a hustle mentality is helpful, because what you do is that we imagine the hustle before you actually have to do it. So all the shit is in place. It's like, okay, how many of y'all had that first day of school when you got the new school clothes? And the first day of school, the night before, everything is laid out, iron, tennis shoes, pre-tied, all, anybody? Is it just me? Y'all gonna be disrespectful? I'm gonna be disrespectful? That's some bullshit. Okay, y'all are with me. I appreciate that. Especially you, Antonio, I appreciate that. So you versus like halfway through the year when it's Christmas time and you wake up late and you can't find nothing to wear because it's all dirty. You ain't think about nothing. Don't act like y'all know how to get. You're not gonna wear this one. Okay, all right. You know what I'm talking about, but because you had to go, but you didn't plan for it. That's the way a lot of people take on business. They're like, oh, I could just do this. I could just show up and do, no, sir, you can't. And what you'll learn is the other stuff. If I have to teach you how to sing or to be an artist, then you are in the wrong place, because I don't have those skills. But if you want to learn how to take that shit and commercialize it, how to ensure that you don't get hustled by anybody else, how you can build a plan so that your business can operate, and to build a plan and come up with a quit strategy or a quit metric. Because that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do, that quit metric. When do I quit? Oh, by the way, if you need to say something, please just stop me, because I will just talk for an hour and a half. I love the fucking sound of my own voice, and I have so many amazing things to say.
I heard you say something. Oh, my bad.
I love this part where everybody comes in and goes out, and comes in and goes out. It's so cute. Antonio, let me go. Antonio, you go. All right.
Okay. No, I heard that you mentioned about planning, and it just brings me back. Like, I had my first pop-up event at it was like a Mother's Day, like vintage, I don't know what event here in Doral, which is the city of Doral.
Okay.
Miami. And so like it looked beautiful. The setup was great. We had customers and it was a success. The mayor even stopped by for the city, and he was like super excited because we'll be the first bookstore in the city. So then we get home and I realized that I didn't like I don't recall what I sold, which books I sold. So then I had books on my website, and I had books that I sold at the events. And so I was so caught up in trying to make sure that we had the tables, the cloths, the banner, the marketing out, that I totally forgot like a very like a important part of my business, which is keeping track of exactly which titles I own now. So ever since then, I've been trying to slowly like to go through this, and get back to it to make sure that I'm where I need to be. But that was a big bump and a big lesson learned.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we do a lot of, is that we figure out what are you actually learning in the streets. And that's why we go, and so let me be clear about this too. I appreciate that, because I go into a level of detail that is obnoxious, because I have severe anxiety. So that I need to know as many details that can possibly happen as possible, because I got to run all the scenarios to figure out what's possibly going to happen and what's not, and what resources I need to ensure that I am safe in my mind space. And my mind space is a very dangerous place. So I have to go through all of that. So there may be times where I'm like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like, whoa, that's not for me. Kind of like, I'm like, well, are you going to tie your shoes to the left? Are these the new laces or are these the old laces? Are they pre-laced? Are you going to, like, I'll go to that level of detail. And when you're like, I'm just wearing the red shoes, dog. Like everything else is fine. I can just throw them on in the morning and get out. So I want you to know that there is going to be levels, and it's up to you to tap out whenever you want. I'm going to go to Charlie because she was right after Antonio, and then I'm gonna circle back around to Melanie.
I know you mentioned earlier about like the burnout situation. What advice could you give? Sorry, I was getting called. What advice could you give as far as to like prevent that? Because I know starting off, like I had someone to learn from with doing when starting the makeup business, but I also had Casa behind me was saying like, okay, you have to do school, you have to do work, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it just became a lot from the point of January to I was able to sustain everything from January to about March. But when April came, I burnt completely out, and it was the time that I had to transition and everything. So what advice could you give me like when starting up again, like to prevent that burnout?
So there are there's a magic, there's some magic that I teach later on. Actually, I might even throw the magic in right now. And so there is this magic that I do. But before then, one of the things I want to say is that this is a trauma-informed program. And what we realize is that many of us have traumatic episodes in our lives. Some, other people may not rank as trauma. Some other people will look at like, oh my God, how did you survive that? Either way, we bring those things to the table. And part of it is our families and the pressures around us and all of these expectations. And part of what we do is, so I'm an avid believer that when you work for somebody else, you need work-life balance, because you sold them 40 hours a week. They don't want less than they bought, and you don't want to give them more than they bought, right? So that's why there's this balance between work life, because otherwise they're going to take as much as they want. Like, why wouldn't they? That's their thing. But when it's your time, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 168 hours in a week. That's all yours. It's not work-life balance, it's work-life integration, because it all benefits you, and figuring out where these decisions go. And so we'll talk through about how do you navigate with family and friends? How do you have those types of conversations? Because a lot of the expectations that many of us, especially those of us who have abuse in our backgrounds, our expectations are sometimes the pressure of somebody else's expectations, even something they just mentioned, will guide us and weigh on us like we're carrying like all of the world on our shoulders. Because, oh my God, I don't want to make them mad, or they've done so much for me, and how could I not do this for them? Or, oh, yeah, you ready for this? Or they family.
Yeah.
All of that is stuff. All of that is no different than all of the articles you read, shit you see on social media, shit you see on YouTube. It's all information that you have to figure out what to do with. And so I'm gonna teach you the magic word. It has been amazing for me. It is no. Dead ass, that's it. But I need you to
My
understand
ugly laugh.
how powerful it is when it's only that word. No comma. You don't get a fucking comma from me unless I owe you fucking something. Most of us have a comma after no. Oh, hey, can you come help me? No, because, hey, would you do this? What? No, because, can I borrow? No, because, fuck because, no. One of my, so I do a radio show on Black USA News. And one of the things that one of my guests said so eloquently, she said, your boundaries have to be sacred. Because if they are not sacred, imagine a cell wall that just lets anything in and out of it. No, there are boundaries there. Certain things get in, certain things don't. If you do not have those boundaries, if you don't say no, then you get poisoned because you're taking everything in. And so we'll talk more about how do you develop those skill sets and navigate through some of the, and that's part of the class. That's part of the conversation. Because part of the issue that I say is bullshit about business is they try to act like business doesn't involve you. Like, oh, here's a business plan. You should be able to follow this and be successful. No, I have anxiety. Fuck you.
Exactly,
I need you to slow this shit down because if I get too hype, I'm going to fuck it all up. And so we'll talk a lot about that along the way. So let me jump over to Melanie. Melanie, how can I be of service?
So in the world of planning and being detail oriented, I recognize that there's going to be moments of, I don't want to say spontaneity, but it's almost like, I guess the best way that I can explain it is imagine if you're scruffy, have a 12 kids back in Oregon, not Oregon, what am I saying? Virginia, and you in California trying to mine for gold. And then you see that one gold nugget. And instead of going into the analytics and the planning and all of it, you either have the decision to take the gold nugget and dip, or, you know, go into the whole detail oriented thing, only in the sense of, I guess as like an example, but I guess like also speaking to experience, this past weekend that just happened, I don't even know how this happened. It was like a thing of like I blinked and then boom, I was there. But I was attending a pride parade to walk with a nonprofit organization. And then I saw a relatively famous drag queen. And out of nowhere, I became her photographer for the evening. And she gave me a shout out today. And I'm just kind of like, how did this happen? But also like how to maneuver around moments where it's like, because now she's talking about booking a shoot with me, and I don't know how to handle that aspect of it either, because it's just kind of like, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Well,
but
the spontaneity is
I just don't know.
exactly the right word. That is exactly the right word. And some of the way that you prepare for that is just to prepare for that. Like it's there is no magic to it. It is sometimes you're prepared, sometimes you're not. And again, make sure you circle back and hook up with Anthony, because he could talk to you about how to get your, you know, those agreements, what to think about is your staging and those kind of things. Again, not sure where you are with your experience and skill set on it, but that is, you know, hook up with Anthony, talk to him. And also all of you all have the opportunities to do one-on-one calls with me. Please take them. You will learn a lot of stuff in the class. Absolutely. The videos, absolutely. But the one-on-one time is an opportunity for me to talk to you very specifically about what the fuck you're doing. Not to, you know, not to get, because we do it in these different ways because each part is an opportunity to learn. The first thing that you all will do is you all will see the videos on the web pages. Look at the videos. Those are the fundamental pieces that we'll be covering and that we use to kind of shape the direction of the classes and the workshop. Then there is a data gathering tool that you fill out and you complete. Then we come here and now you get to hear from each other and we get to think as a group. And then we have the one-on-one sessions. The one-on-one sessions where we take all of this other stuff and figure out how do we make it relevant for you. It's also one of the places where we can talk in more detail about some of the more private issues that you may want to talk about, how to navigate, especially when it comes to friends and family or relationships, lovers, and those types of things, because that is part of fucking business. Like, real talk, if I'm not getting asked, business is not going to go well, real, because I know who I am. That's a real thing. So I had part of my business model is making sure I take care of my personal life because I know the consequences of it. And you have to be honest. And some of the worst parts about, not the worst parts, one of the more challenging parts about the program will be the honesty that I will require you to maintain. Not just with me, because I don't give a fuck what you tell me. You can lie to me, how do I know? But if it sounds like bullshit, I'm gonna call you on it until you are honest with yourself, because you don't want to end up one of these people. I'm sorry, we don't want you to end up one of these people that think you're doing the right thing, talk about branding and this, and I'm about to do that, and everybody else is like, oh yeah, I mean, oh yeah, good you and your little business. Oh, I see you and your little business. That's not what we're trying to do here. So, Melanie, I'm sorry, I think I went into rambly mode. Did that cover anything you were talking about?
Yes, but also like, because obviously your girl was very starstruck before, during, afters, and even now, because she was like, oh, I wanna schedule a call tomorrow so we could talk about the shoot. And I was like, yeah, cool. But also behind the scenes, I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh no, that happens all the fucking time. That's exactly what you should be feeling. This shit is
okay.
Scary. Every time is the new time. Every time, because wow. Oh, Erica, you know what? Oh my god, do you know what reference I was about to pull out? Madonna's Like a Virgin.
Oh, you know what? I thought you were gonna go for a pimp reference for a second.
No, this too early for pimping. It's too early for pimping. We're gonna talk about pimping and probably we'll talk about pimping next week. So every time you do this, it's like the first time in many ways. Like it's going to be awkward in many ways until you start doing it repeatedly. Like I said before, why should you know how to handle any of this? Why? You shouldn't. And the cool part is that you are acknowledging that you don't, as opposed to be like, yeah, no, I know how to handle it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take my camera and shoot, because that's what we do if I'm a photographer. No, you need to be. And also one of the things that we can have. And so, Melanie, you need to make sure you make an appointment with me as soon as you can. Because we need to sit down. We can talk about how you approach it, what type of contracts you need, what to think about. And also maybe we can loop Anthony in as well to get you prepared for it. Because there's nothing wrong with being starstruck, because sometimes it's wonderful to work with your idols, but it's also important to have a level set expectation of who the fuck they really are. Because sometimes you have really great people who are good at what they do, but they suck at business. And because they don't know they suck, they think it must be your fault. So yeah. So
and then also I guess like pricing.
What did you say?
That's also like another problem that I have as well. Pricing.
Price. Oh, yeah, you should have a problem with pricing. Do you know where most people get their prices from? Like the large companies? They make them up. Everybody
Indeed.
just fucking makes up prices. That is exactly where it comes from. That is the secret sauce. Now, what they do is that they look at statistics to try to help them guess, but it is always a guess. One of the stories that I want you all to always remember, there was this company called Enron. Yeah, not WorldCom, it's Enron. Enron, do you all remember Enron? The story about Enron? They were a huge financial company globally. They were so big, so this is the bigger part for me. Everybody who worked there was in the top 5% of the top 1% of business schools. Okay, think about that. All of the business schools on the planet, you had to be in the top 5% of the graduating class of the top 1% of those business schools. If you didn't go to a Harvard or something like that, you had to earn before you get in, and you still would never be partner because you didn't have the right pedigree. That school, which purported to have some of the smartest people in business, I mean, that's not school, that organization has some of the smartest people in business, failed. And it failed so spectacularly, it literally threatened to take the entire world's economy with it. So why would you know how much you should charge for something? This is new. Everybody is guessing. Some of us have degrees and stuff where they teach us how to guess the formulas to guess better. But guess what? Everybody who in 2018 had a 5-year plan, all of that shit is fucked because of COVID. So it didn't matter how good a business plan you had in 2018, 2019. It's what did you do when COVID hit? Because going to what Melanie was talking about the spontaneity part, the market changes. This is real fucking life. we talk, we one of the reasons we talk about it this way is kind of like the reason that athletes practice or artists practice and do drawings and practice their craft, is so that when you're on stage and when you're out in the world, you know what to do. This is our practice space. This is where we look over film. This is where we talk through things. This is where we do those, so that when you are on the field and we run a play and the defense moves or shifts their position, you know what to do because we practiced it before. It doesn't have to be if you take 5 steps and the person is in front of you, so you can't take the 6th step, you just stop there and stand. No, that's the way we practice it here. But in real life, you'll have that muscle memory. It's like wipe on, wipe off from the Karate Kid. I don't know if you all know that or not, because I'm an old man. All right. So Melanie, that set up an appointment with me one-on-one, and we can really work through how to navigate those spaces. Because that's a really great opportunity, especially with the place that you're going in as far as branding and brand management and stuff like that. Creative director, and also figuring out how to effectively use this opportunity. Because this isn't just about you putting on for her in the in as a photographer, but also thinking about how you take those images, get people to take pictures of you taking pictures of her. You get all of that stuff down, and then come out with a way to figure out how that will influence the people you might be able to get some money from. So yeah, we need to talk one-on-one. That'd be awesome. I've missed a lot of stuff in the chat. Okay. Oh, the stuff in the chat is Erica stuff that she'll tell me about later. I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not relevant right now.
Yeah,
don't worry about
it. All right. So what else?
It's relevant to you right now.
You know, it is not relevant to me yet. It'll become relevant later, and I'll be like, hey, Erica, remember, didn't you get that stuff from them that time? And also, one of the things I think you all should do, and Erica and I will talk about it later because I haven't talked to her about this, is to really sit down and talk to Erica about how she has grown Fosterpreneur. Actually, we may have you come back and really talk about that, because one of the things that I think your journey does talk through very well is the utilization of networking and honestly, including myself, working with some difficult people or people who have different backgrounds that may not align with what you thought was going to happen. And so one of the real talk about Erica is that there are not a lot of people that I work closely with for long periods of time. It tends not to last. And we've been doing this, for 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, so we had our very first cohort in 2017, but you and I met May of 2015.
Yeah, we started working on and putting it together because we didn't have the initial funding for the first cohort until 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And I'll say this real quick, just to guys context. When I first met William, I had this nice presentation prepared about Fosterpreneur should be a thing, and William ripped it apart. He ripped it apart, and I was like, how dare this man say all this stuff about Fosterpreneur? But then I took a step back and I'm like, oh, he did have some very valuable things to say, and we reconnected maybe like 2 or 3 months later after I did some additional work, and it's been history ever since.
Yeah, it is.
But I was like, how dare this man say all these bad things about what I'm doing?
Yeah, and I absolutely will, because, and especially because with Erica, the people that referred her to me were like, just make sure you take care of her. And I was like, okay, cool. I always assume that the person on the other side of the table, when you all go out and like try to get business, try to get pitches or whatever, I always assume that they're going to be at least as talented as I am. And I try to prepare you to get through me. Because the reality is that I don't give a damn. Like, if you make $1 million, that is so cool for you. If you lose $1 million, oh, that sucks for you. I'm still going to teach the class on Thursday. Like, it's And so the thing I provide most is the truth as I see it, an alternative perspective. What you decide to do with it, that's cool. The cool part, and even there's even a wide, even with my volunteering with Fosterpreneur, there's a wide berth about, if Erica says this is what we're doing, it's what we're doing. Fuck it, because it's not mine. My job is to help you all achieve the things that you all want to achieve. And honestly, I've helped people achieve some really great businesses that I did not believe in. Oh, I'm like your business mercenary. Yeah. I know there's some kind of joke about I'm killing it or say, but I can't pull it off real quick. There's a lot of pressure on myself right there. I apologize to myself. All right. What else? Who else?
Well, we did our introductions. I'm not sure what else you wanted to cover in this first session, or if you just want to start prepping, for the last minutes.
Well, no, actually, I'm a really big fan of giving people time back. I learned that from Erica. Erica is good with like, we wrapped up the agenda, go do you. So I appreciate that shit. There's a couple things that we do at the end of each session though, and I want you all to think about it before I just drop it on you. The good word, whether it's something good that has happened to you, something, just a word that you want to share, whatever that good is, that's how we close out every session. We go around, everybody gives a good word. What I will do is within the next 24 hours, you all should have received access to the site, the Wild Apricot site, the Fosterpreneur site, to go on, and I will send you instructions about what to do, how to get to the links and stuff like that, so you all can start working on that stuff. I'll also put this video up within the next 48 hours on that first set of pages. Is that cool with everybody? All right, the other part is please make sure that you set an appointment with me. I'm going to try to do something different this time. I'm going to try to get you all to set appointments with me as opposed to just leaving the option open. The reason I tend not to do this is because I am petty and I am detail oriented and a stickler. So if I'm expecting you to meet with me and I look at my calendar and it's not there, I'm going to talk about you. But I'm not behind your back. I'm going to talk about you to your face. Like when we get on, I'm going to talk about you and not make an appointment. So I'm trying not to go that far just yet. I will just politely ask, please meet with me. So there's that. Does anybody want to start off the good word, or do you all want me to start it off? All right, I'll start it off.
You started off, yes.
Okay. I actually spoke to my therapist today, and I told him one of the things that I was feeling was a sense of hopelessness. Like things weren't going to change. They were just fucked up, and they're just going to stay fucked up. And I had this call today at 7, which honestly, I was like, oh God, okay. All right. Is there any coffee, a breakfast blunt or something? Like, what do I need to get through this? And at 8:19, I feel hopeful. So I am grateful to you guys for that. So who's next? Antonio, you wanna make it happen?
Sure. For today, I got through work without a hitch. I think that I'm happy that there was no problems, and that gave me the energy to kind of show up and contribute.
Erica, what's the good word?
It sound a little repetitive, but honestly, this evening with you guys has been the good word for me. Just when William can attest to this, when I told him after I visited Casa Valentina in March, because that was when I visited Casa Valentina in March, that was the first time I'd been to Casa Valentina essentially since I left. And that was, I stopped working Casa Valentina in 2013, and I hadn't been back since then. So we're talking almost 10 years since being back, and just the fact that the team has been so welcoming and so supportive, and just to see that we're here now, and just the opportunity to work with you guys in this intimate space and hearing your stories. I'm just inspired. Like Anthony, what you've been doing with your bookstore and having the mayor of
Antonio.
I did it again. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. And William said it was going to happen too. You know what's going to happen? Anthony, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to call you Antonio.
That's absolutely going to happen too. That's absolutely going to happen.
Okay. So Antonio, you said the mayor of Doral was there, right? Because Doral's its own independent city. Like I wasn't in Doral that often, but like just the fact that you had your opening and you had this type of attention and you're like, hey, I want to know how I can do this better. Like, I think that's amazing. Charlie, you didn't even talk about your ties to the music industry, i.e. Meg the Stallion. Or it may have been JT from City Girls. I forget, correct me. But you know, I've had the conversations with you and knowing how talented you are as a makeup artist and how big music is in your life. Like, I'm so glad you're here. And then Melanie, when we talked last week and you were telling me your directions about your whole journey of being a creative director, and then you mentioning that you're at a pride parade, and then one of the drag queens was like, I need you to work with me, and you didn't plan that. Like, I already know I'm in a room of greatness, so it's a privilege to be here. So I'm honored. I'm gonna stop talking.
All right, Melanie, your turn. What's the good word?
I feel embarrassed because I do not understand the assignment.
For you don't, oh, right now the good word. Tell us something good that's happening in life, or something that's good about today.
Something that is good about today. It is Monday, the eve after Juneteenth. Looking forward to what this week brings. Definitely not reparations, but that's a different conversation in itself. But I'm just really excited. I feel like I'm turning a new chapter in my life. That if I said what was going on in my life to me 2 or 3 years ago, she would not believe you. She would call you a liar and probably block you on everything. Like, if you know how we feel, why would you say that? But I'm just kind of like, I'm still in the what just happened moment of my life. Like, I, not even like because of what happened this weekend, but just like overall, like I'm in very much like just in not even all confusion. It's just kind of like a, did that really just happen type thing? Because what is my life right now? I'm not ashamed of it. I'm definitely embracing it 100%. But you know, that moment where I tell people I'm going to the bathroom, I definitely look myself in the mirror and be like, what is happening right now? So I'm very excited,
That
taking
is
in all
normal.
the unexpected turns.
That is what you're feeling is normal, and we'll talk about that a lot more as we go along, because that's a normal part of the entrepreneurial journey. Cool. Charlie, what's the good word?
The good word for me is today is just like keep going. As I heard everyone's story, as I heard as looking back on my own story and just the last couple of things that happened these past few days, is just like keep going, keep your head up, because even just this whole program that's helping all of us today, it once started so small, and look at it today. So I don't feel like it's nothing like in this world that you want, that you feel blessed to do. Like, you can do it, you know. I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to meet everyone. And yeah, it's a great meeting. Thank you guys.
No problem. Anthony, you want to close us out with the good word?
Yeah, I can hear that. The good word for me is I survived a long 3-day festival weekend. And I told myself I could do something nice for myself today, and what I did was work out. So, you know, as part of self-care, I got, you know, as much as I didn't want to, you know, do what I did, but I got out there and did it. And like I said, I think, you know, like I said, yeah, I think most part I'm really grateful for really everyone. That's, you know, been helping me, Mr. William, and Miss Erica mainly. So yeah, I think that's really it for me.
Cool in the gang. So I will see you all on Thursday. We may start about a half hour later. So I'll send you that email. Like, again, within the next 24 hours, you'll have the email about next steps. All right, party people.
Okay.
You all have a great one. Bye.
Everyone.